There's Snow White's 3 daughters, the 3 brown sisters. She has them all outside the barn, but then she went off the pasture. They're still staying back. Probably by tomorrow they're going to be going with her. I'm here because I'm irrigating. This is, it's just too involved to explain what this is here, but unless you've been watching my earlier videos. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. The wind's blowing on the camera. I just don't know how I'm going to find a good spot to explain. I'm irrigating. I'm bringing that water across this mine spoil. Once, maybe 40 years ago, I had done this, but I just scratched the surface. At the moment, I've got lots of water to work with. Let me walk uphill just a little bit. This is an old, from that 40 years ago, this is a really old ditch that I've revived. One ditch leaks to the next, which is right, and I'm taking it back across the hillside. Both of these, well, all of them from now on are going to be dead level. Last year, as I explained, I was letting them slope in order to get the water as far as possible. Up here, this ditch, it was new. It's new today. Actually, it was so easy to dig this because the pigs have rooted it up, and for some reason there was something in this that they right away last year went right after it. I don't know what plant it was, but you know, in a way it was the worst of the soil. Now what I've done, you know, I'm letting them leak. The primary ditch, which probably has a name for it, old-fashioned name, maybe, I don't know, the canal. I'm calling it canal. Well, I've talked about it before. I blocked it off partially, and all this is leaking, which is good. But what's leaking down the way I let the water down the hill, I've crossed that with this ditch. Now you can see it's not quite dead level because there's a hydraulic jump right there. But as the water's here, it softens the ground, and then I can more easily go to it. Now, if I step across the fence, I say I didn't completely block this off. I've let some of the water go on through. I put that pipe up to keep it from establishing a siphon and sucking it down. So I've opened this, I've let it go across, and I'm irrigating, I'm establishing a garden between that fence row and the old barn, and I need water to be doing that well, so I'm working on that too. It's a sunny, fairly hot afternoon, and we've got some fairly dry weather coming, so I figured, well, I'll just start while I've got all this water. I'll start irrigating. Now down there where all that tussock sedge is, the dark green stiff looking plants, that at least in 30 or 40 years has not been drained. Last year the pigs and I did a lot to drain it, so I'm not too worried about it anymore. This is just prime for irrigating because nothing really was growing on it. The conditions were right to establish the ditches. To put yourself in perspective, on this, or in, context, on this platform here, I intend to establish, I don't know what to call it, a source for the aqueduct that's going to go that way, the aqueduct that's going to go that way, also the source for the intake for a Pelton wheel way down there. I can try. One of the reasons I film so badly is out here in the bright sun I can't see. I'll establish a penstock from right about here the whole way down there. Alright, well, I've tried. The wind's picking up again. I wonder if this will help to explain what I'm doing. You see this? The pigs rooted this all up. And I started to ditch it. I have a water supply above it. I'm calling it the canal. I guess I'm going to call it the Western Canal. It goes above the house and on over to the cherry tree house. But anyway, back here, that's the way it looks now. And this is what I'm doing to it because I have a water supply and I have the time. The separate ditches are ones that really the pigs established with their rooting. And the pile of lumber and PVC pipe is problematic, but I'll go above it and below it and deal with that later. Now each one of these ditches, if I give it about an hour or even less, I can add a few feet to each one of them because it softens this ground. And I'll gradually work my way over. Now there's a saddle right there, a low spot. And for a while I can run the water, all of this is by gravity, I can run the water away over to the western side of that saddle, which is made by the approach to the barn. On the near side of the saddle, I'm going to let that water go right down along the side of the barn and right through the barn. I'm going to see if I can establish a spring, a stream right in the barn, because I can't drain it anyway. And underneath that building, which is so badly in need of repair, there is a well, a dug well. I redug it and relined the top of it. It's about 20 feet deep. And I need to keep it supplied, but I also need to drain it, which I did. About 2 feet or 3 feet underneath the back tires of the pickup truck is where the drain goes, but it's been blocked for years. If I reopen that drain and put a pipe through there, I'll have potable water inside the barn. So maybe that's more than you can understand, but it would help if I had a wide angle to show. There's Darky is what I call her, grazing quietly. All right, bye for now, I think. There, I'm still not done. In the time between the last time I spoke and now, which is maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes, I established a new contour right there. The water was leaking down through. I thought I'll go halfway. That's what I usually do. I go halfway between the one on the right and the one on the left. I divided it in half. If I can get rid of that lower pile of lumber, use it up or restack it, I can probably go across with that.